Sport and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station.
That man to beat Houston first down by touchdown.
Tied 100.9. Tied 100.9 T2 Northport. W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tied 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama first and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to the summer and you playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to recruit you, and I run back coach came back biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, guys, we're about ready now. Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. The Martin Houston Show fan page can be found at Martin Houston Live on Facebook, as well as YouTube, and then at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. It is a Friday morning, which means it's the day before Alabama's next big kickoff, and we're getting ready to get things rolling right here on the Martin Houston Show. We want to invite you into the program so that you can be a part of the conversation at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Taco Casa, quality, taste, value under the biggest cactus in town. A great choice for lunch and or dinner. So go check them out and make the right choice today. Also, you can catch up with us via chat on the various social media outlets. So we look forward to hearing from you. We'd like to get your thoughts, your comments, your insight on tomorrow's game, as well as get your score prediction. You can call us and give us that information as well. Tiebreaker this week is Bryce Young's passing yards. So look forward to catching up with you on that information. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. And, of course, it's Friday, so that means that we have X's and O's sports podcast host, Xavier Houston, co-hosting with us again on the Martin Houston Show. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good day. How you doing this morning?
Doing well. Let's get right into the conversation. It was a big week for a certain local kid, local to Tuscaloosa, as B-Rob got a chance to tote the load. I've been a B-Rob fan from the beginning and thought he could do it. He just happened to be behind one of the best to ever play at the University of Alabama last year and kind of lost some of that luster, but I still think B-Rob is a big-time back, and he got to show it this past weekend.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that when you looked at his ability, he's not the flashiest guy. He's not going to run by everybody. He's not going to jump over everybody like Najee did. But he runs hard, and he's hard to bring down. And you saw that against Ole Miss as the carries mounted. The defense was worn down to the point where he had a career high across the board, carries, yards, and touchdowns.
Yeah, and as we look at him individually, he's sitting number 14 in the nation in scoring at 10.5 points per game. He's number 21 in rush touchdowns with 6 and number 29 in rushing yards per game at 94.75. A couple more big games, and he might just get over that 100-yard mark. And with the loss of Jace McClellan, the first question is, does this equal out to kind of the last time I think we were in a situation like this where there was such a difference between the number 1 and number 2 guy, Derrick Henry and Kenyon Drake. Derrick Henry, now please do not hear me saying Brian Robinson is about to go on that streak where he's getting 35 to 40 plus carries a game. But do you see Brian Robinson's workload getting back up into a consistent 22 to 27 carries per game and then splitting those other carries with other guys?
Definitely it's a possibility when you look at how he's the, wear you down type running back, similar to how Derek was, where once you get hit so many times, you just don't want to get hit again by that force coming through the backfield. So do I expect him to, as you said, to get to 30 to 40 carries a game? No, but I actually think his 36 was the most carries by a single running back since Derek played at Alabama. So it shows that he's physically able to take that punishment and dole it out. So, 20 to 25 is a good number for him. And, you split the rest between Roydale and possibly Trey.
Yeah, and you look at it right now from a rushing offense standpoint, Texas A&M sits at 58, 167.8 per game, and Alabama sitting at 163.4. Do you see that changing this week? Does Alabama come out against Texas A&M, and does this offensive line build off of last week's success? B-Rob build off last week's success and bump that average up a little bit more?
You definitely want to see that happen when it comes to the fact that we were able to dominate the line of scrimmage. Now, Texas A&M's defensive line is a lot better than Ole Miss defensive line. They have the Marvin Leal, who has 4.5 sacks so far on the season and is a potential top 22, top 10 pick in this coming up draft class. So that's a strong point of their defense. But you want to be able to win the line of scrimmage, and we showed that we could do it last week. So you just want to continue and build that momentum with the offensive line and with Brian to see if that can be the driving point, because you don't want to, especially in a hostile environment, have to throw the ball 30 to 35 times. Even though Bryce Young is talented, he's still a young quarterback. You want to limit that possibility for those mistakes.
Unless that's your game plan, you're exactly right. In today's world, I can't ever tell if a team is throwing because they want to or have to sometimes. But I think the running game will be key. I think Bryce Young has settled in even more, and I think the tight ends have become even more important since the running game has improved. The tight ends and the passing game has gotten even better. I think Bryce has only thrown about 6 or 7, maybe 8 incomplete passes the last couple of games combined. So definitely the running game is impacting that. You about to say something?
No, you're correct. With the last 2 performances by Bryce, which is ironic, has also been his 2 interceptions this season. But as far as just being able to be good and make decisions with the football, it's also been beneficial to the run game and the tight ends the last 2 weeks. Those have been the biggest impact games between Latu and Billingsley, as well as the running game with Roydale going over 100 and Jace being just shy of that number against Southern Miss. And then, of course, Brian having his breakout game last week.
Yeah, and one of the things I would kind of a follow-up to the B-Rob conversation is where will those catches, because Jace McClellan was clearly setting himself the receptions, where will those receptions go? Do you think we're going to see potentially more passes to the run. I mean, less passes to the running back than what we've seen with Jace and B-Rob and all of that, or will they distribute those passes to those guys?
That's kind of going to be one of those things you have to see how it plays out. Now, granted, we have several capable wide receivers, 4 to 5 deep. That's really solid there, as well as our 2 tight ends that open up the middle of the field. But you could also see Alabama do some things. Earlier this week, Coach Saban mentioned an emergency running back. Well, when I look at that, it doesn't necessarily have to be some guy that comes in and gets 5 or 6 carries to 10 carries a game, but maybe you take a guy like a Slade Bolden who played a running back in high school, and you put him in the backfield as that swing pass out of the backfield type player to catch the ball, which opens the door for you to put JoJo Earl out on the field. So now you have Mechie, Earl, Williams, and Bolden all on the field at the same time, along with those tight ends.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's going to be interesting to see how they distribute. Will they continue to incorporate the running back into the passing game? And if so, will that be with B-Rob, Roydale, or Trey, or will it be with some other alternative? Because I think you could just as easily see JoJo Earl on the field as the running back, potentially as an option if they're going to go with a wide receiver. He could either be in the slot or in the running back position. Curtis Lewis saying no, B-Rob isn't that type of back. We will see more carries distributed to the 3 backs. We'll see. I don't know if that's the case or not. I think B-Rob showed that he can be that type of back. I think that there's a couple things with B-Rob. I think B-Rob, first of all, is not, Eddie Lacy wasn't flashy either, but you feed him and he got more carries. He just got better and better. And he didn't just get better and better as the game went along with more carries. He got better and better as he got more carries and got back in the flow of learning how to run the ball, make cuts, make reads. It's repetition and practice really does matter. And I think B-Rob is a guy who's kind of been on the sideline watching for a while, so he hasn't learned how to get in the flow of a game quite yet. But he was getting there last week. And like I said, he's going to be a flashy guy. And I laugh about this. Derek Lassick was a guy who never had a lot of long runs. But most people don't remember. They don't remember that now. They remember Chris Anderson having long runs. They don't remember that. So, I'm not really worried about him getting the long runs right now, as long as he's able to keep you can feed him and keep getting him those plays, and he can keep moving and change. And I think that's what he's shown himself to be. I think the big runs will come as he gets better, line gets better, and the wide receiver blocking gets better. But we'll see. I think he'll be in the 20 range consistently now. And Curtis Lewis is said Trey Sanders is the most capable back for catching passes, and that's why I made the statement that just because Trey Sanders was the 4th guy, don't mean he won't be the 2nd guy this week. And I know people have asked me, like, that sounds crazy, Martin. He's the 4th guy. That doesn't mean that he won't be the guy that doesn't mean he won't get more reps than Roydale this week, because he may run the same plays that B-Rob runs and Jace runs. He may be more of the inside zone and power play. He may run more of those than Roydale. So all of a sudden, when you lose Jace, he was the 3rd best at it with Jace in there, but he may be the 2nd best, and they may run those types of plays 70% of the time in the zone, outside read, stretch plays, toss plays, or outside run plays. They may run those only 30%. And then, of course, he did show that he's a very good receiver. So I'm not arguing that Trey Sanders will not necessarily, Xavier, be the guy who gets more touches all of a sudden for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah. You don't know how these things are going to shake up because of each player has their niche and it's what they're good at. And we know what Brian's good at. He's that inside guy. He's that power guy. Jace was the catch the ball out of the backfield guy for Bama this year. And Trey might be the second best at both of those.
Right.
So it's not a knock on. It's what hasn't been a knock on Trey so far to this point of the season, and it's not going to be a knock on Wardell throughout the rest of the season. It's just that you put your players in the best situation to be successful, and you run your offense that is beneficial to your players, not you trying to make your players run the offense that you want.
Absolutely. So we'll be watching that on tomorrow, and we'll break it down next week and see how it shakes all out. I will not be surprised if Trey Sanders gets significantly more reps. I will not be surprised if Trey Sanders doesn't get significantly more reps. I will not be surprised if Brian Robinson goes for 25 plus touches as well, with run touches as well as 4 or 5 receivers. So I would not be surprised if Brian Robinson coming back doesn't have somewhere in the 25 to 30 total touches this week. None of that will surprise me. What I do want to talk about is what is it's kind of running back conversation, but also looking at defense. 2 major injuries, Jace McClellan on the offense and Drew Sanders on the defense. Who will this open the door for? If it's not Trey Sanders, who on offense? And if it's Drew Sanders is out, who is it going to be on defense? Who will we see this week with the Alabama Crimson Tide as an option to fill in for those guys who have been ruled out for at least one game, if not for the season? We're talking Alabama football, Alabama versus Texas A&M, right here on the Martin Houston Show with X's and O's, Xavier Houston. We'll be back on the other side.
Solid traffic center, no active wrecks, traffic pretty light, but we do see some fog in the areas, so just slow down and be careful. If you see conditions, give us a call. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with an amazing selection, rebates, and extra cash on your trade. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Can I get a weight reading on the cat in exam 3? Zuri needs a new vet tech after their current one literally moved to a farm. But finding an ideal replacement takes some training.
This is like herding cats.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Weather brought to you by Tidwell Chiropractic, the only third-generation chiropractor in Tuscaloosa with over 24 years experience. Call Tidwell Chiropractic at 752-7503.
Everybody loves Taco Casa. Everything we do in our store, we prepare in our store. You know, we hand cut all of our tomatoes. We block and shred our own cheese here in the store. So we still hand cut our chips, our sopapillas, our taco shells, our chimalupa bowls. Our chili takes about 4 to 6 hours to make every single day. The goal in that is to provide the freshest, best quality to our customers. So we just look at it as, hey, basically, we're your kitchen. You're just coming to eat in your kitchen. Taco Casa, under the biggest cactus in town.
Tide 100.9, Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather unseasonably warm through early next week. The sky partly to mostly sunny today, the high 84. For tonight, clear with the low at 61. Tomorrow on Sunday. Lots of sunshine both days. Highs between 84 and 87 degrees. I'm James Spain on the ABC 3240 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 62 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophmark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show, and we're welcoming back in Xavier Houston with X's and O's Sports. As we're talking Alabama football, as we were going to break there, we posed a question, kind of who will be the replacement guys for the Alabama Crimson Tide? Who will be the guy who serves as a backup for Sanders? Drew Sanders, and then who will be the guy who steps in as the emergency running back. We talked a little bit about one possible option for the emergency running back tomorrow being Slade Bolden and or JoJo Earl. Them two kind of either or. Either you're getting JoJo on the field as an option to in the running game and catching it out the backfield. He's shown his ability to run. Or you put a Slade Bolden who has played, running back, wildcat, quarterback, etc., and then you put JoJo Earl in his spot as a potential. But what other options may Nick Saban explore in that situation?
I mean, you can always also look at a guy like Christian Earl, who's a similar type player to JoJo. Not Christian Leary, who's a similar player to JoJo Earl. Or you could look at potentially a guy like a Christian Story, who was that wildcat dual threat quarterback in high school that was known for running the ball, who plays safety for Bama now, but hasn't really carved out a role on the defense yet. Or you can just do it in a really more traditional way, in the sense of you don't necessarily replace Jace with anybody, but you use different formations. You get different wide receivers on the field in those types of situations where Jace would have been an option in the passing game. So I think those are multiple ways. There were multiple players that you could see also get opportunities.
One other way I get your thoughts on. One other way is the quarterback that I have been waiting all year to see if we're going to have some wild tide. I mentioned it earlier in the week. Wild tide formation with Jalen Milroe be running the ball. For instance, I'm just waiting on him to be in a short yardage or a goal line, situation. Because what you do sometimes in an emergency situation is if you feel like somebody needs to get more reps. But I think that Alabama really is talking about not necessarily getting an emergency running back to necessarily play on Saturday as much as they are if one of these other guys go down on Saturday. Then you need that third back. If, say, for instance, you get into a situation where you're having a lot of two-back situation and you don't want to wear those guys out. So I think if these three guys stay healthy, they're going to get the lion's share. But if they were to get injured or something like that, I do think Jalen Milroe is an option.
Yeah, he's definitely that type of a dual threat guy that we've seen other schools historically use in a 2-quarterback system. Of course, we expected to see that out of Florida with Anthony Richardson, but he was hampered by a hamstring injury, so we didn't get to see it. And of course, you flash back to the Tim Tebow days, but several other schools have always used that second quarterback in goal line and short yardage situations, and Jalen is that type of athlete who can, as we saw against Southern Miss, make a throw when needed, but his number one weapon at this point of his career is his legs.
All right. And then we flip over to the other side for injury replacement. Drew Sanders, a young man who was coming along, getting better, I think, really beginning to get more and more comfortable with that out with an injury. So who steps in for him this week?
The first option, it appears to be, is Chris Braswell, who's also a sophomore. You know, we saw him have a massive 8A game, so apparently he's been preparing, and I think he's capable and ready for this moment because he's now been the third factor in those situations since Chris Allen's injury and Drew stepping up. But you could also see true freshman Dallas Turner, who I think will be probably used more in pass rush situations. I'm not too sure he's going to be great in coverage. So I feel like if he's in the game, he's going to have his hand in the dirt going after the quarterback. And but you could also see a younger guy, Quandarius Robinson. He got in trouble in the offseason, but this could be his opportunity, or Keanu Coates, who's also a freshman this year as well.
Yeah, and I would that would be the order that I would say you probably see them in terms of Chris Braswell, as far as being the third guy, and the question becomes: do you put him in to play more of Drew's role, or is he better at Will Anderson's role, and then Will steps over and plays more Drew role? Don't know yet. I know this offense from a challenge standpoint is easier than what we faced last week. What's his name is not as multifaceted and doesn't use a lot of trickeration in their offense in terms of Texas A&M. Thus, with their quarterback, they're sitting at number 82 overall at 213.6 yards, sitting at 76 at 381.2 yards. And scoring offense, they're 101 with 23.4 points per game. So one or two of those young guys, Chris Braswell, Dallas Turner, definitely the ones you are could be that. And Curtis said you forget about DeMoy Kennedy as a possible fourth. Forgot about he talking about as that he could be someone. DeMoy Kennedy, he going back to that the running back replacement. Hadn't thought about that. I think DeMoy Kennedy played a little running back in high school, but he definitely has the build for it and athletic enough, and he's not playing a lot of reps on defense, so that's definitely a possibility. We got Tom on hold, so let's get to Tom. Tom, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with X's and O's Sports. Xavier Houston, what's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning. Doing good, you?
Hey, Martin, I wanted to explore something that the X-Man made a statement a while ago, and I thought it was interesting and really it kind of fits this coaching staff, and that is, moving people around, and I think you brought up JoJo Earl, Slade Bolden, and others that you can kind of make a different game plan around, and I'm thinking Slade Bolden could roll over there, and I, in my opinion, would be the better option, because that way you get JoJo Earl on the field as well, and so you actually put another weapon out there. I think that is actually giving the opportunity a better slot man than Slade Bolden, and I was thinking about Slade Bolden in the role of somebody like a Christian McCaffrey or something of that nature out of the running back position if you wanted to. And I wanted to see what y'all thought about that. I think that given the New England influence on this offense with Dayball and now Coach O'Brien and so forth, you know, they just kind of taper their game for whatever they need that week. And I think we're in that situation. Xavier brought that up. And I want y'all to go a little further on that, if you would.
All right, Tom. I'll let Xavier. Great insight, by the way. I'll let Xavier respond first.
Yeah, when you look at Slade as far as being in the backfield, and you bringing up New England, it fits perfect. There's a guy from a few years ago that played for him at the running back position. I wouldn't necessarily give Slade Christian McCaffrey credit, but Danny Woodhead is a very similar type player that Slade could be from the backfield position. And I think if you're going to move to get JoJo on the field, I would move Slade into the backfield because JoJo is a little bit more dynamic of a player and he can do more things out in space than Slade can. And I think that's a little bit more effective if he's used in the slot. But yeah, the New England comparison is pretty solid, especially because Slade could be a Danny Woodhead type of receiving back.
Was Slade used? Was that this last year, or was it the year before that Slade was used at in the LSU game multiple times? It was the year before, right? When yeah. So the reason I was asking that question was because Slade Bolton was good enough in the eyes of the coaches to warrant a package when there was plenty of running backs. So you would think that he would definitely be a guy that could be a guy who could get some reps. And remember, I don't think they're looking to make this a a package that's going to replace anyone. I think it's how do you manage touches? Say we get into a game where there's 85, 90 plays or 80, 90 plays. How do you not wear your running backs out? How do you manage sort of like a pitcher and a pitch count? How do you manage the touch count for running backs? And that's how you do it is you give a Slade Bolden or that type of player a few extra touches. So great insight, Tom. Anything else before I let you go?
Yeah, I got one more question, if it's okay for me to add this, and this is again to an observation that Xavier made a couple of weeks ago, and I've been wondering about Trey Sanders is somebody that I think is, in my opinion, and that's not, I'm no expert now, but Trey Sanders is a person that's always fascinated me with his skill set. And ever since he got here, I've looked forward for him to just kind of bust out. But I'm starting to wonder, is he 100% healthy? And do y'all think that he's still trying to recover from some of that car wreck and stuff like that? The reason we haven't seen more of Trey.
I do. I think it's either one or two things. He's not 100% healthy, and that's a distinct possibility. The thing I wonder about is what's his recovery time when he plays a lot, when he gets a lot of reps and gets a lot of hits. What's his recovery time? And like Strasburg, I think is his name. That when he got hurt, they literally he could come in and dominate a game. But he would be pitching fine, and they would take him out after 4 innings. Right. But there was nothing that showed you that he couldn't have gone 6, 7 innings at that point, except for the fact they knew that his recovery time, if they let him go 7, 8 innings, and he would have missed multiple starts. And I just wonder if that's what's going on with Trey.
I think so.
Yeah, and I also have to think about the fact that we expect Trey to be who he was coming out of high school.
Right.
And he suffered 2 very serious injuries, a broken foot, and then one that was potentially career-ending. And so we don't know if Trey is that number 1 running back that he was physically in 2019 today. We don't know if he's capable of being that same player. And that's not a knock on him. He's had unfortunate injuries. So that number 1 status that he had in 2019 might not be what he is physically capable of being at this point right now.
All right.
That makes some sense. The pitch count, and that also recovery pitch count part of the conversation makes a lot of sense. Anyway,
thank you. Thanks. Hey, you got a score for me, Tom?
Yeah, I scored this week is 52-12, and Bryce with 330 yards of passing.
Thanks, Tom. All right, coming back on the other side, we'll catch up with Robert from Mobile, and we'll also welcome you into the conversation as well. And we're able to have these great conversations because of great folks like Overflow Express Wash. Go check them out. I think we're past the rain for a few days, so it's a good time to go get your car clean inside and out. That's Overflow Express Wash. OverflowExpressWash.com is where you can find them. Location on Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa, location up on the hill over in Northport as well, just past just below the Chick-fil-A on the hill, right there up on top of the mount to your right. So go check them out over in Northport as well. That's OverflowExpressWash.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks with traffic moving well on this Friday morning. Just watch out for some foggy areas. And if you do see conditions, of course, give us a call. 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business. Amazing selection, low finance rates, and extra rebates. They'll save you a bundle. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Refresh your wardrobe for fall with Banana Republic Factory. Everything's 40 to 70% off, including season favorites like soft sweaters, easy jeans, warm outerwear, and more. Find your nearest store or shop online only at Banana Republic Factory.
So, what are you sipping? Whether it's our freshly ground coffee to wake you up, or an icy Polar Pop cup or Froster to keep you going, our new Sip and Save drink subscription at Circle K will keep you refreshed every day. Join Circle K's Sip and Save and grab any size drink every day for just $5.99 a month. Yeah. Start sipping and saving today. Just sign up with your mobile number when you check out at Circle K. Limited time offer at participating locations.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our Pep Talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs. or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
You're back in with the Martin Houston Show. Alabama One, alabama1.org is where you can go for all of your financial service needs, whether you're in the Tuscaloosa market, Gordo, Fayette, Pickens, Carroll, and now even a branch up off of Lakeview. And so we can serve you up in the McCalla, Bessemer, Woodstock, Lakeview, Vance area as well. So right there off of exit 100. Stop by. Also, don't forget about our branch down in Linden. So we're growing, we're expanding both in locations, branches, and in products and services. You'll get great member service at Alabama One, where we'll treat you right. Got a great promotion going on right now, refi, reduce, and ride. You do not have to be a member to take advantage of this. We would love for you to bring over your car. We'll match or beat your existing rate. If you qualify, we'll give you 60 days, no pay, and up to $250 cash back. That's Alabama One, alabama1.org. And while you're there, we'll take care of your insurance as well on that auto or any other insurance needs you may have at Alabama One Insurance, your one source for all your insurance needs. It's Alabama One together. All right, let's get to Robert. Robert, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with X's and O's host Xavier Houston. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, guys.
Hey, now.
Yeah, we've been talking about Trey Sanders, and I'm kind of wondering what, do you think it might be injuries why he hasn't been back in the lineup? That first game against Miami, he was pretty good.
Yes.
Out of the game.
Yeah. He looked in that game. If you look at that game at that point, you're like, okay, he's back. I mean, okay, he may be able to live up to some of the things we thought. And then Saban's comments after the game, you're thinking, okay. And then what I saw happen was that let me know that there was a gap between Roydell and Trey was when Brian Robinson went out, Robert, when he was out of the game and did not play against Southern Miss, and Trey didn't get reps against Southern Miss. Like I said, there was clearly a gap between 2 and 3 in that game, or 3 and 4 in the other times. And like I said, I don't know if that's because of something. I don't. It doesn't make sense when you see what he does when he gets out there, except for the fact that they just got him on a pitch count.
Yeah, and when you look at, my bad, Rob. You look at. We also might have seen more of Trey in that Miami game because Roydell fought.
We did. There is no question.
That could have been more of a punishment to Roydell because everybody forgets Roydell was the third back in during that game.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, Trey's been fourth actually the entire season.
Yes.
And like you said, there's a gap between 3 and 4, obviously, after the Southern Miss game.
Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, that's been kind of a mystery. Like we talked about it before. It's just been a big mystery. And Nick, like you said, Nick Saban comment how happy he was. He, got scored a touchdown and got back in the game, and all he went through. At the Miami, we thought, okay, we got our two-headed monster, we're good to go.
Yeah.
And then something happened somewhere. It was kind of a mystery to figure out what.
Yeah. This week could tell us even more about where he sits. And like I said, I'm not going to take it negative about him either way, because the reality of it is this is really going to be like his first freshman year. I don't know if you realize that or not. He was redshirted his first year. He got COVID had COVID, year last year. So he still has this year and 3 more.
Yeah, hopefully it'll get together for him and start to work for him. And like you guys talking about Slade Bolden. Yeah, I was kind of hoping he turned into our Renfro.
Yeah.
But they're quiet to showing that much talent, especially with the hands sometimes. And sometimes he can get the fumble monster too on occasion. But it's still time, to develop. And Bryce definitely looks like he wants to use him, and because he keeps targeting him. So
yeah, I think he's played well. Hunter Renfro is. I don't know if you see the new route he created in with the Raiders.
No.
Oh my God! There's some route that he developed, the way he runs it, and him and Cup, who plays for the Rams, they were practicing against each other, and it's virtually uncoverable unless you have some type of bracket. It's the craziest thing. I don't even see how he does his body and his feet and his hips to do it, but it's worth Robert going to look at. You talking about Hunter Renfro, the Bama killer is what I call him. That dude. You kept going. Okay. Minka's gonna get him. Minka's gonna. No, he's not. No, he's not. So anyway, hey, anything else before I let you go, Robert?
No, that's fine. I'll just let go to you guys. So talk to you later.
All right, no score this week.
Oh, I didn't get one.
No, you didn't.
Okay, for 45. I gave Brian 45-17, so I guess I go with that.
All right, 45-17. How many pass yards for Bryce?
I can't remember what I told Brian. So I'm gonna go 355.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I guess.
All right, let's get Super Joe. Super Joe, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir? Hello? Hey, Joe, let's go ahead and go to break here. I'm not being able to pick him up. Maybe we can get a better signal on the other side, and we'll just bring him back in on the other side. You listen to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. That's Super Joe. We're trying to get him in. If you want to get in on the conversation, please give us a call at 205-342-9904. We'll put the finishing touches on this edition of the Martin Houston Show with X's and O Sport Xavier Houston, right here on your home for Alabama Sports, Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks, with traffic moving well on this Friday morning. Just watch out for some foggy areas. And if you do see conditions, of course, give us a call. 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business. Amazing selection, low finance rates, and extra rebates. They'll save you a bundle. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread. Good Friday morning. You need to slow down on your way to work or school this morning. There is thick fog again in the area of West Alabama, especially along rivers and lakes. Mercedes-Benz offering $20 an hour starting pay for 700 new positions at the dance plant. The high-paying jobs move Tuscaloosa into third place in the best job market in Alabama. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather coverage. It's free. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb Series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you're telling them Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by,
you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
Can I get a weight reading on the cat in exam 3?
Zuri needs a new vet tech after their current one literally moved to a farm. But finding an ideal replacement takes some training.
This is like herding cats.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Maureen saved big shopping epic daily deals at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. And with her brand new tableware, everyone's welcome at Maureen's table. All of her family, friends, even her neighbor with the pet. Hey, has anyone seen a ferret around here? Found it. Dig into Amazon's epic daily deals. Spend less, smile more.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama One Insurance. Alabama One Insurance presents the 2-minute warning on the Martin Houston Show. I want to remind you to go check out Alabama One. Go to alabamaoneinsurance.com and you can put in all of your information and request a quote right there online. Or you can give us a call at 205-342-0112, 205-342-0112. That's the Alabama One Insurance dial in direct line, and we'll be glad to answer your call, answer your questions, and we will review your policies, reduce your premium, and you can relax knowing that you're properly covered. That's Alabama One Insurance for all your insurance needs. Alabama One Insurance, your one source, alabamaoneinsurance.com. All right. Let's get back to the conversation. We have is Super Joe with us? Super Joe, if you're with us, you're in with the Martin Houston show with X's and O's. Xavier Houston. What's on your mind, sir?
What's going on? Everything all good, man? Hey, how's everything wrong with you today, man?
Everything's good. How about yourself?
No, everything all gravy. Yeah, just getting off the job. But man, let me ask you, so how they been looking in practice for us this week with the game? I know they was talking about lack of motivation earlier in the week, but I'm sure that's changed by now, hopefully.
Well, Super Joe, I don't have any more insight on that than you do. I hadn't got to go out to practice or anything this week, and I've not heard anything. So I don't have a response to that. What about you, X?
I haven't really heard anything on that. But hopefully you don't let what other teams have been doing dictate how you go out and prepare.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're not motivated to play Texas A&M at College Station, I think Joe, wasn't it you that said that's one of the it's from a fan experience is one of the really neat places to go play because of the Yale practice and all that stuff. But that I think if they get things turned around, I think they as a program potentially pose the biggest threat to Alabama long term, especially post Nick Saban. From the West, let me say that.
Well, I look at it like it's a big celebration thing because you got to look at two coaches that coach here, coached over there. Coach Brian coached over there, and your coach played there, and he was under Coach Brian on the coaching staff, and so that's why I say this is a special rivalry. And I know one thing I can say about Gene Stone, Coach Gene Stone, but man, until I had the opportunity to talk to him maybe one time, and I can still remember the conversation, and I told him how much I respected him for sticking by Coach Brown for suspending Joe Namath, because he said, well, the whole fact of the matter is, regardless of what your talent is, you can't go out there and just start doing what you want, and it was kind of like sitting back to listen and let him have the rest of the dialogue. But what I want to say about this, with the Alabama Texas A&M, I believe we play like we need to play, and then I think this probably should be a good convincing victory for us. And I look at it 66-10.
66-10. Super Joe, how many passing yards you got for Bryce Young?
I'll say about he got a good 350.
All right. Hey, Super Joe, I hate to run, but my clock's running out, and I got Pat holding. And thanks for that shout out to my old coach, Coach Stallings. Appreciate you, sir. All right, let's bring in Pat. Pat, you're in with the Martin Hughes Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Yes, sir. From X's and O's, Xavier, question, sir, is are we going to be able to not miss a beat with our Texas linebacker going bye-bye for this week and bringing in two young guns at that outside linebacker position? What do you think?
I definitely think Chris Braswell and Dallas Turner are more than capable of stepping in for Drew Sanders this week. You never want to see a guy go down with an injury, but Braswell has proven very solid in his rotational role, and so has Dallas in his sparsely playing time. So I think both those guys will step in and fill in well for Drew this week.
Dallas has definitely got the accolades, and from what I've read about him and what I studied about him when I was watching him being recruited, I think we're going to be golden. And I've seen the game being 49 to I'm gonna 49 to 14.
And what about passing yards, Pat?
Passing yards for Bryce, I see Bryce at about 325.
All right, Xavier, thanks, Pat. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a blessed day.
You have a great weekend and blessed day. All right, what about you, Xavier? What you got for the game, man?
I think Alabama's going to dominate this game. I'm going to go with 48 to 13.
And passing
44-13.
44-13, passing you.
And I'm going to go, Bryce is going to have about 335.
All right. And I got 48. I think that this offense, they're only averaging about 12. They're only giving up about 12 points a game. So if we get up in the 40s, our offense is really good. And I got it 48 to 13. And I got Bryce getting about 315 in passing yards. And give a shout out. Virgil Williams did say, hey, Joe mentioned King Wakuda. He's a guy that has played some. Maybe he gets in there. But we'll keep it going right here on the Martin Houston Show. We'll be back on Monday to break it down. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thanks, X's and O's. Xavier Houston for being a part of the program today. Thanks, Joe Gaither, birthday boy this past week, for pressing all the right buttons. I'm Martin Houston for the Martin Houston Show on Top 100.9, reminding you of this. Trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Find yourself in church somewhere this weekend. We'd love to have you at Harvest Church at 10 a.m. Roll Tide, go take down the Aggies.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Of course, give us a call.